What's up, y'all? Give me just a second here. Facebook's been real weird about me sharing these out lately. All right. There we go. Okay. Man. I don't even want to be doing this tonight. I'm not even kidding. I'm so annoyed with this one right now. So, we're doing an update on the Weld County, Colorado animal abuse case going on. Some of you may have seen, just like 2 days ago, I had the founders from Broken Shovels Farm Sanctuary and Denke Animal Sanctuary who have been trying to rescue a variety of different livestock animals from a residence in Weld County, Colorado, owned by Halina Morley. Well, not owned by Halina Morley. Halina Morley's been renting there. That's the daughter of Laurel Burchell, which is from our group of CPS scammers and shit. So that's what kind of got people pushing me over to look at this to begin with. And basically what's going on, there's an 80-year-old woman that owns the property. Laurel's daughter, Halina, has been basically executing squatter rights, it sounds like, to not leave the property and just remain there. Supposedly for somewhere around like a period of 2 years. This has been going on for a very long time. People in the community have been watching this. They've been trying to save these animals. Halina refuses to take care of them, which I got the pictures and videos. I'll pull those up too, just as we go through all this. There's pictures, videos. They're not being fed properly. There's liquor bottles and trash all through these areas. There's dead, decaying animals there. There's been reports that dog and other animals are feeding on the dead carcasses of these other animals. The dead carcasses are in different stages of decomposition. It's a nightmare. But because they're livestock and she's meeting like the bare requirements, there's not really anything that can be done legally. So the people at these animal sanctuaries, Andrea and Floss, those two women that came on my live just like 2 or 3 days ago, they've been busting their ass. They've been working their ass off to try and save these animals. They've been doing everything they can. People from the community have been coming. There's baby pigs there. They've brought these baby pigs blankets. They try and feed them, but anything that the community tries to do, Halina destroys it. Like the baby pigs with the blankets, she took the blankets and they were trying to find warmth in trash bags. So there really wasn't much of an update. But like it's like a weird Marvel multiverse crossover. I don't know why our lunatics are even involved in this. But if you followed this channel and this page for a while, you've heard the name Shara Michelle before. Which Shara Michelle is like, that's my Carol Baskin. I hate her. I hate her with every piece of my body. And I didn't think I could hate her anymore until today, when she decided that she was going to defend Laurel, the mother of Halina, which I have some screenshots to show of Laurel and everything before we listen to this phone call interview that Shara did with Laurel. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this live is because Shara is notorious for deleting her posts. Laurel I would just like to have that phone call. I have no clue why you would come out defending Laurel or Halina. One of the first problems with Laurel right off the bat is this is a message from Laurel, and Laurel has apparently cleared this up with another person, Robert Beatty, that runs the Kent Hovind group. There's a Kent Hovind's Worst Nightmare, sorry. There's a link in the description to that group where you can find more information on Laurel and her daughter Halina, because Halina has had her kids taken by CPS and Laurel had to step in and get them. Laurel lives out in California. Halina's in Colorado, so it's not even really clear why Laurel is involved in this, aside from encouraging her daughter and trying to get money out of the fucking deal. So, this was a message from Laurel. She's trying to extort money out of it. What she cleared up with Robert Beatty was people got confused, and they thought that she was asking for $125,000 for her daughter to stop abusing these animals. Flossie, yes, it sounds like she's been squatting for around she was evicted in 2020, I believe, sorry. But I think the animal abuse stuff has been going on for like 2 years. Don't quote me on that one, but it's something like that. This 80-year-old woman has tried to evict her, and it's just not working. And basically, Halina and I would imagine Laurel are bullying her. So, and yes, Melissa, that's correct. One child was taken from Halina, and Laurel has custody of that child. And yeah, that's a 6-year-old boy. And Halina, her daughter, has a long criminal history. But so, according to Laurel, she was not demanding $125,000 for her daughter to stop stop abusing the animals. She was demanding $50,000 if they paid on that day, or $75,000 the next day, which is so much better. And yes, Halina had her horses removed in 2011 by BLM. God, I guess we'll just go through some of the stuff Laurel's done. Because she's also been over on First Gentleman Marlon Reese's page, which I'll read this to you guys in a minute, because this will tell you how serious this animal abuse case is. And like I said, when I play Laurel's interview, I'll show some of the pictures and videos that have come from the actual property. But before we get to that, which here I actually already have that pulled up. So Laurel, the mother, was going around on basically all the pages, but I believe she was blocked by both the animal sanctuaries and God knows where else, because Laurel's known for making, I don't know, I think I have at least 6 accounts of hers blocked, and I've heard numbers in the teens of people that have accounts blocked from her. So Laurel will create all these fake accounts and just flood your page with all this ridiculous, hateful shit. Like one time she said something along the lines to me that she hopes a gay man blows out my asshole. And this is like a 65-year-old woman just sitting by herself in California, just doing this crazy shit. God knows why. But what she was doing was she was going around on all these pages, and she was defending her daughter and this animal abuse and everything. And actually, in this, is it this one? Genevieve, Lonnie, money is being wasted by the constant trips to the farm. The animals are not safe because of those throwing stuff into the pen. The owner had them safe, though. And remind you, I'll show you the pictures and videos in case you didn't see them last time. And here we got another money claim. You can donate to the owner through the sheriff's department. How about starting a GoFundMe page? The poor owner is getting run out of town. The poor owner that's been abusing these animals and refuses, because that's another thing I want to make sure people understand. These 2 animal sanctuaries have a place for these animals to go. Halina claims she can't afford to feed them, that she's overwhelmed, blah, blah, blah. They have places for these animals to go. Like today, and I even saw it because Shara ventured over to the Broken Shovels Farm Sanctuary and started commenting on their page. And Broken Shovels asked her if she was going to do this interview with Laurel, then tell her to relinquish the animals by 5 p.m. Because, I mean, they're on it. They have enough support that I imagine right now at this moment, especially because of the freezing temperatures, they could make a phone call if Halina said you can come take the animals right now. And people would go there and get those animals and get them to a sanctuary and start rehabilitating them. It's not happening, though. So it's not like there's nowhere for these animals to go. It's not like it's this confusing situation. Like the doors are open. Um, no, CJ, that's the animal sanctuaries are trying to get these animals away from that woman. Like that's not their place. That's the condition of it. Halina Morley, Laurel's daughter, is the one that has this little property with all these animals pinned in with all these fucking dead animals and all this other just heinous stuff. So no, that's not the sanctuaries that we're talking about. The sanctuaries are actually doing what they're supposed to do. They're offering to get those animals out of that situation. Um, but yeah, Laurel's been running around. If you've ever had to deal with this woman before, she's very homophobic, very just hateful. She definitely hates homosexuality without a doubt. But she claims the animal owner is extremely intelligent, talking about her daughter. Why do you have a man in your life with you having a young girl? Care for your daughter first, her before unmarried sex. Spend time with your daughter rather than beating down the animal owner. What is your intelligence level? What is wrong with you? You put your daughter in harm's way. What is wrong with you? So you're into kissing pigs and who knows what else. Sick. Like, and that's all in one comment thread there. That's Laurel just losing her shit on all these different comments. And there were some way worse ones, but they got deleted. I couldn't find some of those screenshots. The only animal that has died in months is a chicken that had straw thrown on top of it. There are millions of animals that live and survive outside. Did you see them in person? Why not have a prayer vigil for them? When you harass a person, I must step in. Who is behind the trespassing? I'm sure that is a bully and coward. I care about the human life that is being abused. Obviously, most people here care more about humans or animals than the human race. What is the crime, Rainbow Girl? The only animal that has since died was a chicken from being covered in straw. So then the dead carcass would still be there, correct? Thank you. I don't care what you say. I know Satan's spawn when I see it. Why did you unblock me? And so that's some of the comments that Laurel was going around saying on these different posts to people that are concerned about these animals. And I really wanted you guys to see that and, again, see the fact that she was literally trying to extort people for upwards of $50,000 to get her daughter to stop abusing these animals. Because what happened with our lovely Shara Michelle in this interview, she tried to paint both of them in a very good light. It's fucking insane. So, even stressing further, before we listen to Laurel talk about this and get that into our little saved banks, this is First Gentleman Marlon Reese of Colorado. This situation is so serious that they are going back and they are working on rewriting legislation to be able to press charges against people like Halina. I mean, this woman has done enough damage that they are going to change state laws. So this isn't just some fuck up mix up whatsoever. This is a fuck up on part of the wording in Colorado legislation. And now they're literally saying that they're going back and reevaluating it because they can't step in and arrest Halina right now. This Shara Baskin, it is Shara Baskin. I'm telling you, that's my Carol Baskin. So we'll go ahead and go through this because there is some good stuff in this. Good morning, friends. Regarding the case of the neglected livestock animals in Weld County, Denke Animal Sanctuary and Broken Shovels from Farm Sanctuary are providing regular updates. I encourage readers to follow these pages, which, FYI, those pages are in the description of this live as well. You can go and you can follow everything from both those pages. Those are two pages that start everything. I also got the past video with the founders of both sanctuaries in the description as well. They were great. Floss and Andrea are completely great, and they're doing everything that they can to help these animals. Officially, according to the Weld County Sheriff and the Office of the State Veterinarian, there is nothing illegal about the way the animals are being kept. That makes sense if one ignores the photos and video documentation showing that the animals are actually in a hateful way. The failure of our laws to offer a clear path to helping these animals is proof that those laws are inadequate and need to be changed. I have been working with colleagues to identify language that is either too weak or altogether non-existent in our statutes, because this will form the basis of new legislation aimed at fixing what is broken. They are literally rewriting state laws because of what Halina Morley is doing in Weld County, Colorado. They have realized their laws are not worded correctly to arrest and charge her. You did some pretty serious shit when a state is redoing their legislation so that they can figure out how to arrest people like you. Like, this is serious. While I have been looking to identify long-term solutions, animal advocates have been writing letters and making phone calls to state legislators and local officials, networking, offering to help the tenant take better care of her animals by donating money and materials, and even attempting to obtain a court order that would allow them to intervene on behalf of the animals without risking charges of trespassing. As far as I know, despite the willingness of advocates to do anything and everything to help the animals, they have been unsuccessful because the law simply isn't on their side. This is a maddening situation in which much of what is being reported makes no sense. My advice is to make a list of questions that remain even after state and local effort to help these animals have failed. This is an excellent exercise to make it clear in our minds why a change in the law is absolutely necessary. My own list begins with the obvious question of why is it legal not to remove decomposing carcasses from an enclosure shared by animals that are still living? Which is a great fucking question. That really is a great question. Somebody probably could have thought about that at some point before now. How are minimum standards of care determined, and what is the rationale behind our current baselines in food, water, and shelter? Does it make sense, given the situation in Weld County, to rewrite current standards so that possessing animals requires more than the bare minimum needed to keep them alive? What is the review process for cases like this one? Who needs to sign off on official reports? Are backstops built into the process in case any of the findings in official reports are disputed? In a very general way, who can advocate depends on to intervene if they witness sustained animal neglect and cruelty. What recourse does the law provide in cases like this one? When you have finished your list, I would be grateful for you to share it in the comments below. I will review all outstanding questions and add them to my own list to get answered. Once again, if you have ideas about how our laws could be improved to prevent cases like the one in Weld County, literally, they're writing this because of Halina. I can't stress that enough. I cannot stress enough. This is just fucking mind-blowing. I really didn't expect our lunatic Shara to come in out of nowhere, because normally she defends child abusers, so her coming in to defend animal abusers was a little out of left field. I can't imagine why anybody would let... I don't even know. If you're in need of more immediate updates regarding efforts to help the animals in Weld County, I suggest following Denke Animal Sanctuary and Broken Shovels Farm Sanctuary. And then Broken Shovels did do an update as well 12 hours ago. No justice for animals today. Friends, today our welfare request for the many farm animals currently in the possession of Halina Morley was denied with much remorse from the judge. We do have other avenues to pursue and will continue to do so for the sake of these poor souls. It is heinous to us and absolutely unbelievable that the departments within Colorado's system who have the power to uphold protection for these animals continue to shy away from doing so. In the meantime, over 30 animals continue to stay alive on morsels with frozen water for literally 20 hours of the day. This is unacceptable and continues to happen every single day since we blew the whistle on this as of February 2nd, 2021. This has all created a nationwide outcry, a call to action, and is resulting in legislators, officials, lawyers, media, and so many more influential people pushing for better laws and regulations as a result. What is happening here is still neglect. It is still cruelty, whether it falls under a specific statute or not. Sheep and goats cannot successfully sustain on a diet of chicken food. Pot-bellied pigs are not able to survive on nothing. The poor dog who wholeheartedly continues to work hard doing her job to protect the living is forced to eat the carcass of the dead to survive. The depth of this situation is unending. Conspiracy on behalf of Halina per her mother, Laurel, wanting $125,000 over a period of 2 days to sell her daughter's animals. Halina was busted in Laurel County 11 years ago for animal hoarding. She lost a court battle with the BLM over 2 Mustang horses that she also neglected in the same manner as these poor farm animals who have sadly fallen victim to her. This is a repeat offender. It spills over into the, which I hate that too. Horses are one of my favorite animals. That shit just pisses me off. It spills over the people in her life as well, and as well documented, there is a long-standing history, yet this does not seem to matter either. So here is your call to action. Here is what you as a concerned members of the public can do. Contact the Commissioner of Agriculture, and then there's everyone that you can contact from this list here. So again, you can get to their page from the description. You can go see all this. If you want to write, you want to call, you want to do anything like that, you can 100% do that from the description. So, all right, let's go ahead and, I guess, listen to this shit, get this over with so I can get back to doing what I was doing. I was actually trying to do some new merch designs, which, by the way, we got the merch store going up there. That's in the descriptions, too. Let's see. We'll do real-time comments. On the bright side, this one's pretty short. I don't think there's anything really to stop and correct. I'll tell you what I'll do, though. I'll probably... You know what? Because I don't know what exact... Shara used like 2 pictures on her interview, and it's like a bounce back and forth from this picture and then a picture from Broken Shovels. I'm not even sure if she had permission to use that picture from Broken Shovels. So... what I'll probably do is I think because neither of them are on this video, it's just bounce back and forth between those 2 pictures. So I imagine what I'll do, I'll probably go ahead and play Laurel's interview, and then behind me I'll go ahead and show the pictures and the videos from Halina's property of the animals, the actual animal abuse going on. So I think that'll work. We'll kill both those birds with one stone. I'm not doing the horrible music.
Situation, so we are going to talk to the community to try to help bring a resolution to a situation going on in Colorado, Weld County, Colorado, and I have on the phone Laurel Burchell. Laurel, are you with me?
Yes, I am, Shara.
Okay, great. We're going to get right to it. What is your daughter's name, Laurel?
Halina Morley.
And she lives in Colorado, Weld County, right?
Yes. You
live in California?
Yes.
And there's a situation going on. Can you tell me a little bit about it, about the situation that's going on? It's a lot of stuff going on online about it. What's happening?
Well, my daughter has some farm animals, and she's being accused of neglecting and abusing them, not feeding them and watering them. And people are becoming outraged, and they are attacking her, and they are attacking me.
Okay.
To remind you that, that's one of the videos that there's dead animals in there. This is how these animals are living. And some of these dead animals have been in there for weeks. So just to be clear, everything you're about to see, that's from there. So this is the mother of Halina trying to defend what you're seeing on here.
Well, we're going to get to your daughter's situation in a minute, but I first want to say that I do know that you don't live in that state, and Do you have, are you supportive of her having the farm, or do you have anything to do with the care of the animals or the farm?
I have nothing to do with the care of the animals. I live in California.
Okay.
But she's been on all those comment threads, and she's demanding upwards of $50,000, which I still think it sounds like she was demanding $125,000. But again, she claims that if they would have gave her $50,000 on that day, they would have relinquished the animals. But if they waited until tomorrow to give the money, it would have been $75,000. And this was, I believe this actually happened the day that I did the interview with the two animal sanctuary ladies, Floss and Andrea. So I'm pretty confident that happened on that day. So she claimed she was saying that she was only asking, I don't even know why I'm clarifying that. She was fucking extorting them. It doesn't matter the amount. You're talking about $50,000 to stop abusing animals.
I am supportive. I do support her having animals, but not in this situation.
Okay.
Previously, she had 6 acres of for her animals to roam on at Mary's house, and recently Mary took the acreage away from her and had this pen built for them. I am not supportive of that, and neither is my daughter.
Okay. Now, have you seen the pictures that are circulating on the internet of the farm?
Yes, I have, and she has cleaned a lot of it up.
Yeah, the pictures don't look good. You know, we've talked about that.
By the way, there were people in the comments. That's not true. Like it's not cleaned up. It's still a complete shithole. Jesus, the lady was ready to give her $20,000 that day, but it wasn't enough for Laurel. That's fucked up. There was also people in the comments, but like if you're seeing that behind me, I guess I do have the real time on. If you look over to the side, like that's the real time comments from Shar's thread, and I did see that there's people on there. They're saying because there was also claims that she goes down there every 4 hours. There's comments. I don't know if it's at the right time mark, but people have been watching because the community. Okay, the two animal sanctuaries didn't bring this forward to the public until I think it was like February 2nd. Now, before that, the community has been watching and trying to help these animals for a very long time. This isn't something that just started this week. So there's people that are basically constantly watching this property and 100% guarantee that she has not been there in the last 24 hours. Like she's not going there every 4 hours. These people have no reason to lie. They have the video and photo evidence. Like they have offered her money. They are trying to work with her to get these animals to safety. They don't have a purpose to lie in this, like, whatsoever. In fact, this is even a little worse on them overall because honestly, those animals don't look like they're in great shape. That's going to be a lot of work to take those on. But
You know, first of all, you do need a lot of straw on the floor to keep the animals warm in the winter. You know about that. And I have to be honest, you've got to find a remedy for the situation. And I think there's a lot of community out there that are trying to help you, trying to help your daughter because it's really her farm. And I know there is a farm out there that I actually looked into called Broken Shovels Farm Sanctuary. They're amazing. They're amazing. You've got to look at their photos and their videos, and they're offering, if your daughter can relinquish the animals, they're offering to take the animals and be done with this whole thing and help your daughter, because it seems to me, and by looking at the photos and everything that's happening, that she's overwhelmed and she can't keep up with the burden of having these animals. Do you think that...
Well, there's a lot more to this story, and she is overwhelmed. It stems from approximately 6 months of being threatened with guns, and this case going through the court system. One of the people that Mary Stevens had on her property was found to be someone that shoots at cars, meth addicts, just a lot of terrible things. And it's a very scary situation for her.
Okay. So are they all in an uproar because of the conditions of the farm? Why do you say that they are coming at her?
It started with one of the tenants' dogs attacking Halina's dog, and he tore the little 20-pound dog to shreds. And
I see the questions of can Adult Protective Services step in and put the nutty animal hoarder in a mental ward? No. Most likely no. Mental health in our country is terrible at best. It is very hard to get a 5150 on someone. Normally they have to agree, or they have to do some sort of threat against people or to themselves in front of an officer. Sometimes like a family witness can work. Like they said they were going to kill the neighbor. They said they were going to kill themselves to me. A lot of the time still, if in front of the cops they say, no, I didn't say that, that never happened, there's still not much they can do. This boils down to just weak legislation. Terrible fucking legislation that doesn't have anything to handle a situation of this nature. And again, that's why Marlon's saying that they're trying to rewrite this at the moment. Overall, I would say, like, I don't know. This has been very weird. And there's this whole interview thing is weird because Shar claims to be coming with this, like, oh, hey, let's love and save everything. But she's been defending Laurel since last night. This is basically trying to twist this and giving them the ability to try and play the victim. Like, nobody gives a shit about, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would love to get their hands on Laurel's daughter, Halina. But the main problem is just the animals. Stop abusing these animals. Give these animals to somebody that can handle them. And that's it. Just go away. She won't do it. Like, and this is an ongoing problem that she just won't do it. She will not let these animals go to good care. It's like there was no good intentions behind this whatsoever. This was trying to hop in and give a woman that is aiding and abetting an animal abuser and trying to extort people a place to claim to be the victim. Like, this was fucking disgusting.
I paid over $400 to have that dog stitched back together. But Halina then called animal control, and Mary didn't like that, and that's when Mary turned against her.
Okay, let's get back to the situation though with the farm animals. There is, when you're looking at the photos, do you see an issue in the photos with the farm animals? Do you, as her mother?
Another dead animal.
Well, I don't think that the carcasses should be in there. There is a reason. She has a bad back and cannot move them herself. She doesn't have the means to move them. People have offered to help, but they never followed through.
That's not true. Halina's threatening them with trespassing, and the sheriff has told them they will trespass if they go on there. People have been going there and giving things to the animal in the dead of night in this freezing weather. Because let's also remember, let's see. Right now it's 16 degrees in Weld County, Colorado, and these days are getting somewhat warmer. Vegemite, yes, those are goat legs actually hanging off the fence. For whatever reason, Halina has cut off goat legs and hung them on her fence. But yeah, so that's the other problem. We're like, this whole winter storm that just crashed into America, we're on whatever day now, and it's like one of the warmer days. It's 16 degrees tonight. And they have like no cover. So It's a very odd and disturbing situation.
We have to be very, very, very,
Many words per minute. I can type pretty fast. I can do some typing.
head on with the situation. You have to understand why this is happening. When you look at the photos, you see conditions that are not optimal in any way for the animals, and that's what the people are very upset about. There needs to be a straw bedding, well, throughout the entire floor for the animals, especially in the winter, to keep them warm, and the garbage and the food containers. And if she doesn't have the physical ability to remove things from the premises that don't belong there, then she's overburdened, and it's a situation where she should relinquish the animals, which we've talked about. How do you feel about that? About working with your daughter to relinquish the animals to this beautiful sanctuary?
I don't have any control over what decisions she makes, but I have been talking to her about it because I think for her quality of life, she needs to move on. She is not a healthy person.
Right, but I think for everybody's quality of life, including the animals, that the best thing that you can do is encourage her to relinquish the animals to that sanctuary, the Broken Shovels Farm. They are willing to take them all to help you. Do you think that you can speak to your daughter and try to come to an understanding with her that it is not only the best thing for her, but if she's overburdened and cannot care for these animals, it is the best thing for the animals to be in a situation where they can get the proper care that they need. I mean, does that sound fair for you?
Well, again, she's an adult. However, I do know that she is out there on a daily basis, and she'll be out there minimum of 4 hours a day a lot of the time.
Right, but if she...
Again, not true. Multiple witnesses have said she has not been on the property for 24 hours. And I think, if I remember correct, I would have to either ask Andre or Floss. I think they were even having a guess on the number of dead animals, but I believe it was somewhere between 8 and a dozen dead animals.
If she can't handle the burden of even removing things from the property that need to be removed, and there's some issues here. So is there any way that, can you speak with her? Like, would she speak with you and me to try to come to a remedy, do you think? Would that help?
I don't think so.
Do you think it would help?
We could always try.
Could you try now? Do you have another phone where you can call her and try to just tell her we're trying to get the community together to try and help her, to try and help the animals, to try to resolve this? She doesn't have to be...
No, Stephanie, right now Colorado is like literally re-examining their legislation and looking into rewriting it because their laws do not cover anything. Like right now, everything she's doing is legal because she's just skimming it right at that legal threshold. They say there's nothing legally they can do. So now Colorado is literally trying to rewrite laws because this has gotten so serious. And then we have these two dumb fucks talking about Halina's being threatened and she's a victim and all this other.
Be defensive or any of that. She can just come on to the conversation, talk with you, talk with me, talk and communicate with the public who is trying very desperately to help her. I can tell you, I've been doing a lot of reading, going around the different pages. I know there's a lot of slander going on. I know there's a lot of trolls out there. But beyond that, if we kind of separate that from the situation, you have very, very kind people that are trying to step up to help your daughter and help the animals and help the situation. And I think it's beautiful. And like I said, especially the Broken Shovels Farm Sanctuary, the farm is beautiful. You've got to go look at their videos. The animals would be in heaven there. They would be very, very fit. They would be in the optimal care there. They would be warm, and it's really, if your daughter is having a hard time with her health, then it tells you that she's overburdened. And when you are overburdened, you cannot keep up with taking care of so many animals when you can't really take care of yourself even. So can you try to bring her on the phone and tell her we just want to have a caring conversation with the community or with just you and me to try to help her resolve the situation for everyone?
I absolutely would not bring her on alive.
Okay.
However, at some other time, if you want to talk to her, I can
All right.
speak with her
Okay.
about it.
We could do that. We could do that.
Somebody asked earlier about the goat leg, because it's just in that video clip. This is actual goat leg, and I believe there's more than one. Even the women from the sanctuary that deal with this kind of shit all the time, when they were on the live a couple days ago, they had no clue what this was about. She's just apparently... I don't know. Cutting off dead goat legs and tying them to her fence. I don't know. Like, I mean, even Andre and Floss were at kind of a loss on this one, because why? I don't know.
Do you want me to go off the live then and try and have a conversation with her?
Vegemite, that is 100% a very good argument. That leg is such an awful way to say F you message to people. That 100% could be what that is. To everybody that's trying and coming to help these animals, here's this dead goat leg. This is what I think of your efforts. That 100% could be. You know, another thing that bothers me about this phone call is this did not need to be live at all. If you're just calling to try and talk Laurel into getting her fucking kid to stop abusing animals, there is no reason to do this publicly, but just because we have Laurel's voice, that's why we're playing it, we're keeping it. But this didn't need to be live at all. This wasn't an interview. This was nothing. I don't know why it would be live. I think maybe it's low enough. Yeah, see, here's one of the comments. She hasn't been there in over 24 hours. And so that was during the interview earlier.
Or maybe that's the best thing to do. Do you think, let me ask you this, Laurel. Can you and I try to work with your daughter to try to work toward relinquishing them to this beautiful sanctuary? Is there a chance of that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you said yes. I'm happy to hear that, because this is very, very important. I think it is the best thing that you could be doing with everybody involved. I think that you tell me, all right, you told me that she loves her animals, right? She loves the animals very much.
Very much so.
And because she loves them, the right thing for her to do would be to...
She has dead goat legs tied to the fence, and these two are talking about how much she loves them. Like, I tell you, I didn't know I could hate her more than I already did. And I do, it turns out. Because, like, the animal abuse thing, I can't stand the animal abuse thing.
Get them into a situation that is optimal for them. And I believe that she would be showing her love to its capacity by doing that. And I believe that she will. And I believe that you can help her get there. I know you can, because I know you care and I know you're trying. I know you've been trying. People don't see behind the scenes. You've been trying to get her to rehome the animals. And you've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes trying to get there. And I know it's hard. But maybe if I could help you speak to her, and if she knows that the community is only trying to help her, those people are just angry at this point because they are frustrated. They've been trying a very, very long time, and now they've all become very frustrated and very desperate. It's winter, it's cold, and they're afraid. They're afraid, and they see the babies, and they want to see resolution. They want to help the babies. It's simple. And you know how all mothers are when the little babies are in trouble. They're looking at the little babies and they think, they need to help them, and that makes them have that that attitude that you're seeing. So if you can kind of separate all of that and try, maybe we can talk to your daughter. We can go off the live, talk to your daughter, and try to find a way to resolve. And maybe she can speak to Broken Shovels Farm, and they can reassure her what they can do for her babies, and how much care they would give the babies. And it would make her feel better. And then you guys can start a new path, and she can focus on her health and what she wants to do in her life apart from this. I think that would be the best thing you could do, Laurel.
There's been so much interference with her life, and there have been so many names called against her and against me, and the allegation.
I know
that I don't know that.
Over on the Facebook side of things, just an FYI, I just blocked the scam bot, so you guys are good. I just saw that fire up.
That sanctuary would be right.
Well,
but we could always talk about it, and she may agree.
But here's the thing.
Ahead. I don't know.
I'll tell you what makes it right. It is a perfect environment for animals, and that alone makes it right. You take away all of the negativity from the situation, because people are angry, because they're seeing things that are upsetting to them, and they want to find resolution, and that's why they're very frustrated. So take that out of the equation and look at the sanctuary overall and what they're willing to do. If you were to say to them today, okay, we will agree to do this, and you can have the animals, and we'll be completely done with this, but we want to know that they're, being well cared for and loved and all of that, whatever it is that you would want, would you be willing to consider it? Or do you think your daughter would be willing to consider it? If it helps her and them.
She may, but I don't think so.
Why? Why do you think that?
They have threatened to come to her home and storm her home. They have gone to the media, the newspaper, the news stations, different lives. It's been horrible. Absolutely horrible.
But you've got to,
and for me.
But there's a reason why, honey. It's not that they don't want to attack. They are trying to express what they're seeing on the farm. And when you're involved in animal rescue, there are certain signs of certain things that you see on a farm that can be alarming, and for them it is alarming. So they're trying to step up and help, and they're not getting the response that they're hoping to get in trying to help. So you've got to understand where they're coming from. I understand where you're coming from, but you've got to come together. Put aside all of the negativity, come together to find the resolution. And that, because if everybody loves the animals and everybody is concerned about the animals and working for them, we put aside all the negativity and we focus on how do we get from A to B. A to B would be, how do we get the animals out of this environment and get them over into that environment where your daughter is comfortable knowing that they're going to be well cared for and loved, and she can relinquish them and know that she is overburdened.
I don't know about y'all, but the daughter's feelings on where they're going can kiss my ass. I don't. See, this isn't what I'm getting. Like, A and B's been figured out. A and B's been figured out for a very long time. These sanctuaries have openly said they're ready to go, and both Laurel and her daughter have been fighting this. Like, there is an 80-year-old woman that owns the property that doesn't know what to do because she's being bullied by these people and can't get Halina off of her property. And this is...
and that this would be the best result for everyone, including her, including them. And she would know that they would be safe, very loved, cared for, comfortable, warm, all of that. And she wouldn't have that burden anymore.
I don't believe that she thinks of it as a burden.
I know, but
to me, it's a burden, and to me, the attacks on her is a burden, but she absolutely loves taking care of her animals, going out there and petting them and hugging them. And,
I know, but
and feeding them and watering them and just sitting there.
Bree, it sounds like overall just like taking the animals from there legally, I think it's turned into like a squatter right situation as far as getting Halina off the property, because she was evicted. I think it was like 2020 she was evicted, like October 2020 or some shit like that, if I remember correctly. That's in, I know, I believe Andrea talked about that for a minute when I had them on from Broken Shovels. So yeah, that's the other problem. Like basically all around there's just these gray areas of the law that Laurel and Halina are manipulating to continue abusing these animals and refuse to relinquish them to anybody that can actually give them the care that they need.
They're staring at them for hours.
But honey, listen.
She loves.
But if you look,
see, that's where Vegemite maybe, like I get a little confused there. That's why I say don't quote me on when the eviction was. Okay, Terry's coming in and sounds like she somewhat knows what's going on there. Her lease was up in 2019, eviction process in 2020, and no enforcement to get the eviction. So yeah, it's turned into like a squatter rights situation. I do remember that was like the overall agreement on the live the other day with Andre and Floss, is that it was, okay, Terry said there was no payment of rent. So basically, Halina's just stopped paying since the eviction part. She's squatting. She's using some sort of Colorado squatter right law, and or lack of, I think lack of law would be the better term there. But so it's basically a squatter right situation with a woman abusing animals where there's not proper legislation to stop the animal abuse. Like it, I don't even know, man. I don't. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll call Marlon Reese's office tomorrow, and I'll see if there's a chance that we can't get him to come on alive. Which again, he's the one that's been like 100% going through. I should have put his link in the description. I'll tell you what, here guys, I'll throw a link to his Facebook page in the comments real quick. Because as far as government wise, he's been the main one like heading up that fight. But I'll see if we can't get him to come on alive and explain what the hell the problem is with these laws. But I think his post summed it up pretty good, that there's just not the proper language in their legislation right now to be able to go in there and legally remove the animals, because Halina is giving like bare minimum legal care. Just enough to sneak by and just enough to not have them taken away.
at the conditions, when she goes home every day, the animals are there in those conditions, and those conditions are not, they're not acceptable. And what I'm trying to say to you is,
Stephanie, that is 100% a good way of putting it. Basically, the law never saw someone like this coming. That's a really good way of putting it. They had no clue they were going to be dealing with Halina Morley and Laurel Burchell, is what that sums up. When Colorado was making their laws around animal abuse, they never thought they were going to be put in this situation.
believe that she's overburdened. Otherwise, why would the conditions be that bad? You're saying that when animals are passing away that she can't remove them, she can't lift them. This tells you that she's overburdened if she can't remove that from the living quarters of where live animals are residing. And you have to understand that the animals that are being left there, when she does go home, they can't go home. They can't go anywhere. They have to be there. And the conditions are not providing what they need in a lot of ways. And I'm being frank and honest of what I'm seeing. I haven't been on the farm. I'm looking at photos. I'm looking at videos. I'm collecting information on the internet. And in collecting everything that I've collected and knowing your daughter's situation that you've referred to, her health and her burdens, it is the best thing to relinquish them to a good facility that, and if you look at the pictures over in that sanctuary and their videos, I'm telling you, it's like a bit of heaven over there. I would love to roll in that hay myself. It's really beautiful over there. I'm just saying, it's a great place, and she would know that those animals are in very, 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 very fine hands. I'm experienced with animal rescue. I've done a lot of it in my life in the past, and I know good hands when I see it, and I'm telling you, they...
No, I don't even know where that claim's coming from. That's just like her claiming she's a journalist. I've seen multiple times now people asked her for any kind of credentials from animal rescue, and Shara refuses to produce any sort of document showing that she's ever done any kind of animal rescue whatsoever. And just an FYI, I guess we'll go ahead and take a look at that next. Terry, thank you for the heads up on that. I just pulled up the 2011 BLM, the horses being removed from Halina. So we'll go ahead and look over that next.
Or top notch. How about
let's give it a chance.
Let's do that.
Try to talk to her.
All right. So what I want to tell the public is, we are going to try to talk to. How do you pronounce her name? Halina.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Laurel and I are going to try to talk to Halina to find a resolution, and if everybody can please be patient, because this is really important. It's the goal that everybody wants. I know everybody has tried many different avenues and different things to no avail, so give it a chance, because in situations like this where there could be underlining things that are going on that people are not aware of, we all know this. We have to have an approach. We have to try this. We have to try it. We just have to try it.
Yeah, those shivering or blah blah blah. Those shivering piglets. That's what I was talking about earlier. The people have brought blankets down there for those piglets. They're guessing, they're not really sure because they can't get to them, but probably around like 3 months. If you look at this picture here, actually, that's on her live. People have brought blankets for those pigs, those piglets. Because we've been in terrible freezing weather, and Halina takes the blankets from them, and they have that like pile of plastic trash bags to try and stay warm in. So yeah, earlier when I was talking about the piglets and not getting their blankets, that's what I was referring to. Those are the piglets that she keeps on taking their blankets away from them.
This love approach, and I'm going to try it. And Laurel, I know you want to try it because she's your baby, she's your daughter, and you love her. And I know you want to see what is the best for her, but you also want to see what is the best for the animals too, like everybody else does. So let's try it. Why don't we give her a call? We will go off the live.
Stephanie, I like some of the stuff you're saying tonight, Stephanie. Usually when you come across a hoarder situation or something, people really do love the animals and aren't well. They don't do this stuff. This is something different. She's hurting them and seems unfazed by it, or about it. This isn't the same as whatever show Shara watched on Animal Rescue. So that's the reason why I just wanted to stop and read that. Is that was the same thing that Floss and Andre were saying, which them running 2 different sanctuaries, they've seen a lot of animal hoarders, and they were like, it's an animal hoarding, but it isn't, because it's not like any other animal hoarding they'd ever seen. And a lot of what you just said, Stephanie, is exactly it. Like, it's not like there's that little old lady with 30 cats in her house and she loves all of them, but they're just shitting all over, and there's dead cats and she can't keep control of them, but she like knows all their names and all of that. It's not like that. It's nothing like that. She's not out there. She's literally just left these animals to die and refuses to give them up. I would maybe even entertain that idea if it was like people reporting that they were going out there and she's out there at all hours of the day and night, just like sleeping with the goats and named them and talking to them 24/7. Like, okay, we got like an animal hoarding, some sort of weird attachment situation going on. It isn't like that. She isn't feeding them. She's littered the place with glass bottles. Yeah, Terry, Terry and Vegemite, yeah, it's a control issue. This is 100% she's in control of abusing those animals. That this has nothing, like, I get it. And granted, I've never dealt with an animal hoarder, but I can see the difference, and I can see why they were like caught off guard. They don't really understand what it's not like a normal animal hoarding situation. This is just evil. It's just pure fucking evil.
We will call her, and then we will update everybody, and we will try to work closely with Broken Shovels Farm. I know they're willing to take all the animals, which would be better because then they can all be together. The animals all know each other.
Which, if I remember correctly from the live, Andrea from Broken Shovel said they would be able to take the birds, and then they got another sanctuary that can deal with the other animals. They have a group thing going on. It's not like everything's just going to go to Broken Shovels, but they have come together with other people to get the animals properly rehomed into care, start evaluating. Unfortunately, at this point, especially since it's been a few days of freezing weather since Andrea and Floss were on here, I imagine that a few of them probably aren't going to be savable, and they'll probably need to be euthanized. I mean, and that's just a guess. That might not be. That could maybe not be the case, but you know, livestock doesn't have a lot of rights and shit when it comes to animal rights. And then another problem, especially with Laurel, the mother demanding, even at less, for fuck's sake, we'll just call it $50,000. For Laurel demanding $50,000 for her daughter to release the animals and stop abusing them. Andre and Floss both said these animals aren't worth anything. These are common livestock that have been completely abused. There's no way their value is anywhere even close to $50,000. So the fact that they're asking $50,000 to get the animals out of there is that much crazier. This isn't even $10,000 worth of animals. Like these are abused livestock. Nobody's going to buy these. You can't take them to market and just sell them off. It's not going to happen. So
and they would be in a great place, and she would know that they're all together and they're not being separated. Would that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm so happy to hear that. We're going to go off the live. Let's try and talk to your daughter, and then let's get back and we will update everybody.
Janice, that's another good one. God, you guys are saying a lot of stuff in there. The problem with people wanting to go in there and remove the animals on their own, since the animals won't be able to go to a sanctuary because they weren't legally removed. So that is something that I'm glad you said that, Janice. That was something that we did stress on the last live. Some people feel like the animal sanctuaries should be able to go in there and just take the animals. They're not authority at all. They are not any sort of legal enforcement. They are animal rescues. They take care of animals that have been abandoned, turned over, whatever. They can, if I got 10 cows I'm just abusing in the room next to me right now, Broken Shovels cannot kick in my door and take those cows. They're breaking the law. They will lose everything they have. They will go to jail. That will be a felony theft charge. Now, obviously the situation's at a point and it's pissed people off enough that people have chattered about taking the animals. If somebody were to do that, you can't take it to Broken Shovels. You can't take it to any of those sanctuaries because they are stolen animals, and you're risking that sanctuary getting shut down because of that. So that's something people need to understand really thoroughly. Like, it's not like, I get it. Trust me, I get it. I don't like animal abuse at all. But it's not exactly worth it for you to break the law to get them out of there. Now, I mean, shit, you got private property and you can do it on your own. You don't need to take it anywhere else or get anybody's attention. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just saying, you know, whatever. That's your property. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, baby. You do what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Shara, for your help.
Perfect. Thank you, honey. I'll call you. Actually, you want to stay on the phone? I'll go off the live, but don't say anything yet. I'll tell you when we're off. Everybody,
Okay.
Love Tea Time Talk Radio. We are going to go off our live, and we are going to talk to Halina, with Halina's mother. And we're going to work very hard with the community. Everybody come together as a community. That's how you resolve these situations. And I know you've all tried that, but we're going to try again, okay? It doesn't hurt to try again. And we will get back to you very shortly. I thank everybody for being with us. Shara Michelle, we will talk to you soon. Let me hold on.
These two women 100% are narcissistic. All three women are narcissistic psychopaths. Well, I don't know about narcissistic with Halina. Halina at least stays in the shadows. Yeah, so that's all that. I did see right before doing this live, Shara did an update saying that, what was it? She had an hour-long phone call with Halina and was bawling. Here, fuck, let me pull it up. There's just so many comments on her shit. I'm not going to even try and dig through it on computer because it's way harder on computer. So let me see if I can just find that comment through my phone real quick and read it to you guys. Fucking Shara Baskins. Shara fucking Baskin. I just had an hour interview with Halina and I am stunned, in tears and sick to my belly. I do not know what to do. I have to get back to this Monday. I have to collect information. So this fucking lunatic's collecting information until Monday. It's fucking Thursday night. And she's going to collect information until Monday. That phone call didn't need to be done on live. If she was just trying to call and get Laurel to get her daughter to hand the animals over, that should have just been done privately if it was being taken serious whatsoever. That shouldn't have been done live. There shouldn't have been any defending of Laurel publicly. There shouldn't be any defending of Halina publicly. Neither one of them should be given the opportunity to claim to be a victim in this situation on any fucking level. That's like the message part of what she was saying about handing the animals over. That's great and all. The extra shit of saying that Laurel, Halina, anybody is a victim in this situation is disgusting. That phone call should have been done privately. They should have talked. They should have figured something out privately. If she thought she could even do that, don't even fucking mention it unless something happened. If she was able to do it privately, then go get a pat on the back, whatever. Still, at the end of the day, Laurel and Halina are not a victim in this situation on any level, and you should not treat them that way. You should not give them that luxury after what they're doing to another living creature. So, over on YouTube, Terry pointed out this. This is the 2011 case against Halina. So this is only 9 pages, so that's why I figured we'd just go ahead and look at this before ending this live. God, these people make me smoke more. I smoke less when I don't talk about these people. They just make me mad. Shara fucking Baskin. Halina C. Morley appeals from the October 4th, 2010 decision by the Royal Gorge, Colorado Field Office Manager, Bureau of Land Management, which canceled her private maintenance and care agreement for 2 wild horses. Freeze mark NOS 8726336 and 8726264. Morley challenges BLMs for repossessing these horses before giving her notice for an opportunity to appeal that decision. We modify and affirm BLM's decision for the reason discussed below and deny her petition for stay as moot. And so remind you, like at this point, just so you guys are clear here, this is the past case of animal abusement or abusing, and I mean basically Still hoarding to a degree, and I believe Terry also said not paying shit. Morley adopted wild horses at issue in this appeal by entering into a private maintenance and care agreement on August 15th, 2009. Pursuant to rules implementing the Wild Free Roaming Horse and Burros Act of 1972, 16 U.S.C. 1331-1340, 2006, Tab 3, C43 CFR, Subpart 4750. Sorry, I should have skipped that part, but when I get into a sentence, a lot of times I'll just run through it. She named them Tumbleweed and Rita. As stated in her adoption application, they were to be boarded at a facility operated by Lori Bean in LaPorte, Colorado. Morley had earlier adopted another wild horse, Friesmark, that she named Friesmark 7601087, that she named Liberty. Morley filed a petition for stay of decision, seeking a return of her horses during the pendency of this appeal. BLM opposed that petition. Morley then submitted a statement of reason, SOR, which BLM responded to by filing its answer. The administrative record submitted by BLM is tabbed. For ease of reference, we refer to it by tab, e.g. tab 3. Morley attached additional materials as exhibits to her SOR that are here referred to by their exhibit number. BLM received a call from Bean on December 11, 2009, stating that she had not been paid by Morley for boarding her horses, including both Tumbleweed and Rita. BLM subsequently received a letter from Bean requesting it to pick up its horses and representing that Morley had not paid her boarding fees and had been given notice to remove her horses, but had not made arrangements for their removal. Tabs 5 and 6, Fran Ackley, Colorado Wild Horses and Burros led. BLM responded by assuring Bean that BLM would pay for the care and feeding of its horses until they were removed from her facility. Ackley left a message with Morley seeking her side of the story, but did not talk with her until January 4th, 2010. So basically a month after this started. After Tumbleweed and Rita had been moved to another facility. BLM later reimbursed Bean for her care and feeding of both its horses from December 11th through December 31st, 2009. Morley relocated Tumbleweed and Rita to Town and Country Stables in Fort Collins, Colorado. Liberty was being pastured with Lauren Phillips, also in Fort Collins, Colorado. BLM inspected all three of Morley's adopted horses and found them to be in acceptable condition on February 3rd, 2010. Audrey Horton, the owner of Town and Country Stables, contacted BLM on February 23rd and requested that it remove Tumbleweed and Rita because Morley was not caring for them under her self-care agreement with Horton and had not fed them for 2 weeks. Did not feed them for 2 weeks. After Morley removed her horses on February 26, BLM was informed by Horton that Morley had never cleaned their stalls or paid for the feed Horton had given them. So she wasn't. It's literally the exact same thing. Like, she was not feeding them. She was not cleaning anything. That's the exact same thing we're seeing at her property in Weld County, Colorado. By letter dated February 8, 2010, Phillips requested that Morley remove her horses because Liberty was pregnant and Phillips did not have proper facilities for a mare and foal. They were removed by Morley on February 25th. Horton also informed BLM that Morley's boarding fees were paid by her mother, Laurel Burchell. Imagine that. It's fucking Laurel and Halina again, who later contested Horton's claim that she was underpaid for the care provided to Morley's horses. The record includes phone and email exchanges between Burchell and BLM, which suggests that Morley authorized her mother to act as her agent on matters involving Liberty, Tumbleweed, and Rita. Imagine fucking that. Imagine that. 10 years ago, Halina was abusing horses, and there's Laurel right fucking there, acting as her, her agents on matters involving the animals. And then now, 10 years later, you got Laurel trying to fucking extort people to get her daughter to stop abusing animals. This is fucking disgusting. These people are disgusting. This is some fucked up shit. God, and this is just the stuff they're caught for. We're talking about a 10-year gap. What else have these two lunatics been doing? Not to mention CPS stepped in there to take Halina's kid, then gave the kid to Laurel. I'm going to go ahead and say there's a good chance that neither of those two need to be in charge of a fucking child's life. Anyway, I'm going to relight my cigarette. Goose Fraba. In any event, Burchell stated in a March 23rd, that's my birthday, by the way, March 23rd is 2010, email to BLM, I cannot continue to financially support Halina's horses that she got from the BLM. Legally, 3 of her horses belong to your agency. Halina is penniless. Any money that she gets is loaned to her by me, and I will not continue to rob my money or rob my retirement account for them. BLM responded to Burchell by letter dated March 26, 2010. If Miss Morley is unable or unwilling to continue to meet her obligations under the terms of PMACA, Miss Morley should notify the BLM in writing, and the BLM will cancel the agreement and repossess the animals. Neither Burchell or Morley replied to that BLM correspondence. Morley informed BLM on March 5th that Tumbleweed, Rita, and Liberty were then at a facility operated by Bonnie New in Greeley, Colorado. BLM inspected these horses at New's facility on June 11th and found them all to be in good condition in general. Morley was granted title to Liberty 4 days thereafter. On August 1st, 2010, the News informed Morley that she was in non-compliance with their boarding agreement and that they expected her horses to be removed from their property by October 1st. Morley was reminded of the correspondence by email on August 31st, which also informed her that she was in arrears for her boarding fees, and requested that she immediately clean the barn where her horses were boarded because the urine smell is getting overwhelming and the flies are terrible. So that was like a straight up quote, that the urine smell in the horse stalls was overwhelming and the flies were terrible. New contacted BLM on September 24th concerning the care Morley was providing to her horses. Morley was giving them low-quality hay with limited nutritional value. BLM also talked with New's husband, Donald New, who recounted his concerns with the care Morley was providing her horses, but it did not then attempt to contact Morley. Morley emailed the News on September 27th, demanded that they immediately remove the 2 padlocks from the horse pen where my 7 horses are located and return their possessions to me immediately, and then asserted, "You are illegally depriving me of possession to remove my animals," by 10/1/10, to which I have agreed. The News apparently responded by hiring an attorney to prevent Morley from coming on their property. During the evening of September 30th, Morley cut a pasture gate, removed 2 of her horses from the News property, and was then served with a notice of termination of access to the real property from the News attorney. This notice states it is effective at midnight on September 30th, 2010, and an adjuster's lien had been recorded, demands payment of $800, and informs Morley if you need to care for I'm not sure what happened there. After one of her horses received a cut in early September, Morley hosed it for roughly 30 minutes, but Mr. New thought that was a waste of water and poor veterinary care, and so informed Morley. An argument ensued, which resulted in his locking the water tap and allowing her to use it only during specific times of day. Morley then later disputed that restriction and claimed that she was not being allowed to provide water for her horses and that the News had locked their paddock. And an adjustment is a particular kind of bailment under which the adjuster bailey takes in the adjustees, bailers, horses, or other livestock for consideration, and as such, an adjuster is bound to take reasonable or ordinary care of the animals committed to his or her charge, but in the absence of a special contract, he or she is Oh, okay, I see what went on there. Okay, so then that. So if you need to care for your horses, okay, that kind of jumped around weird. We just went through a weird little moment there, guys. Inform Morley, if you need to care for your horses, you will be allowed to do so through an agent acting on your behalf, but you will not be allowed upon the news property. The news received an email from Burchell that same evening, which states, and this is Laurel again, Halina has had a place to move her horses for several days. You have repeatedly been asked to remove the lock since you told Halina to have her horses off the property by October 1st, 2010, and had refused to allow her to do so. This leaves Halina no choice but to leave her horses on your property. You need to contact Halina to find out what to feed them. It's Halina's belief that you will attempt to have trespassing charges filed against her if she goes onto your property. The news forwarded that email to BLM the next morning and requested that it pick up Tumbleweed and Rita as soon as possible. Later that day, the news informed BLM that Morley would be allowed to remove her horses and that your horses will be going with her. BLM issued its decision the following Monday, October 4th, 2010, without attempting to contact Morley. The BLM field office manager found that Morley was in noncompliance with the PMACA based on a pattern of neglect caused by the difficulty you have with financially and physically caring for your adopted horses. Since adopting Tumbleweed and Rita, you have been asked to leave at least 4 different boarding facilities. The BLM has been asked to remove your adopted Mustangs from 3 of those facilities. So 4 different boarding facilities is what Halina has been kicked out of. BLM field office. Oh no, okay, got that. Decision at 2. He determined that Morley violated 43 CFR 4750.4-1E, which specifies that adopters agree to be financially responsible for the proper care and treatment of all wild horses and covered by a PMACA, and that she committed an act prohibited by 43 CFR 9264.7A13 when she failed to remove her adopted horses from the news facility by October 1st, 2010, i.e., abandoning an adopted wild horse or burro without making arrangements necessary for necessary food, water, and shelter. Decision at 3. The field office manager canceled her PMACA, made his decision immediately effective, and stated that any further requests for adoption of wild horses or burros will be disapproved. Decision at 3. BLM served its decision on Morley the next morning, shortly after it repossessed Tumbleweed and Rita. Morley contends that alleged financial disputes she may have had with boarding facilities are insufficient to support canceling her PMACA because they are unproven allegations, and any non-compliance with her PMACA was waived when BLM titled Liberty to her on June 15, 2010, adding that BLM also failed to conduct a proper investigation of those alleged violations under 43 CFR 4760.1, e.g., it never contacted her concerning them. SOR at 2.4, see petition at 2.3. She further contends that BLM erred by canceling her PMACA based on a claimed abandonment of Tumbleweed and Rita at the news on October 1st. Morley vehemently denies she abandoned them, asserting that the news prevented her from removing her horses and were then legally obligated to care for them. Morley also claims BLM acted improperly by immediately repossessing her adopted horses and permanently barring her from adopting additional wild horses. BLM responds by asserting that the record supports its findings, that Morley failed to be financially responsible for her adopted horses and had abandoned them at the news, and that it therefore properly canceled her PMACA and repossessed Tumbleweed and Rita. PMACA may be summarily canceled by BLM upon good and sufficient evidence that the terms of the agreement have been violated. John Sampson. Okay, that's just some of the shit. I think that's the basic summary. Here's what I'll do, because some of that just seems like we're going to be reading the same stuff over and over again. Let me go ahead and grab that link. And anybody that wants to just finish reading that for yourself, I just put the link to that document in the comment section. Um, but basically, it sounds like all the horses got taken by BLM because Halina was not taking care of her horses. So yeah, like what we're seeing here, this is not new. This is a pattern of animal abuse. And again, I'd like to see how many. I mean, God only knows what's gone on with these two lunatics that we don't know about. But like that's just some other, like there's at least there's like at least 3 dead animals there. Oh, that is shit. Vegemite, until you even said that, I didn't even realize that's a fucking carcass right there. Jesus Christ, yeah, because that's the ribs and shit. Well, and there's horns. So it looks like there's at least one. I'm guessing maybe a goat. Because he got one. I don't know. There could possibly be 3 dead animals there. Then, yeah, possibly a dead calf there. And then whatever that was when it died. Like, I think I can see a hoof. Jeez, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize there was a carcass down there. Yeah, there's another goat out in the yard. It's okay. There's at least 3 or 4 right there. And with the carcass just outside of there is for sure 4, 5. And this one, there's at least 1 dead animal in this camper thing. So you're talking about 6 dead animals in different decaying areas. Oh, and then there was the bunny. There was the dead bunny too. Let me see, where was the bunny? Or is that a bird? That might be a bird that's dead on the ground in front of that. So 7 dead animals. And then I think this is a completely separate animal. Yeah, that one's completely, I believe that's a different one. So that would be 8 dead animals, all in different decomposing areas. Or different points of decomposing. And that's just from these pictures and videos. We don't even know what else is going on inside that property. Plus a dead duck. Okay, so 9. So from the videos and stuff and what we know right now, we can count 9 dead animals. Jesus Christ. And the one hanging off the fence, which we don't know where that came from, so I guess we could assume that's 10. Show the ducks again. Let's see, where were the ducks? I've got a whole bunch of pictures and videos here. Was the ducks, was that a video or was that just a picture? Yeah, the ground, I'm sure the ground is covered in bones, and then also bottles. I mean, there's that one. We've already counted that one. Oh, it looks like, though, maybe behind it, there's another one. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I think there's 3. Damn it, because I just have this pulled up and, oh, actually, I can pause it. Okay, we'll let it get back to that. Floss counted at least 7 in the barn. It's a video. Okay, Carrie, I'll scroll through and try and find the ducks again. Okay, see right back there in that cage. I feel like that's quite possibly another dead animal. could just be wood, but that right there, I'm pretty sure is definitely another dead animal. And the goat legs. Oh, it's 2 goat legs. I just realized it was 2 separate goat legs on the fence. Then at least 1 in the camper. I think they did say, yeah, I do think Floss and Andrea said there was a dead duck. Where is she getting them? Not sure. Which goat have its legs missing? This goat appears to have all of its legs. Oh yeah, no, Bree, that's another thing. Yeah, these animals aren't supposed to just all be together in the same pen. Like that's not how you're supposed to do this at all. Unfortunately, I don't think that those 2 goat legs would belong to this decomposed one here, because A, look how dark it is, and there's at least 1 hoof right there, but also just how dark the coloring is on that decomposed one. Man, that has been out there for a fucking minute. That does not happen. That does not happen in a couple days. Poor little pig. See, there's even a better look. It's just a pile of bone and fur. Oh yeah, Laurel claims that the chicken died with the straw on it. That's correct. That's another one. So we're somewhere around a dozen dead animals, just from what we know of and what we can see from these pictures and shit. Like even just a dog kennel just thrown there. And that dog is allegedly, that dog has been eating off of the different dead animals and whatnot. I'm trying to find that duck video, and also just kind of looking back through these and seeing if there's any other. Oh wait, there's 2 dead animals in there. Because look, you got this one on the ground, and then if you look up here, that's fur. That's another dead animal up there. So that's 2 in the camper at least. Because that's definitely fur. So yeah, there's actually at least 2 in the camper. Yeah, that's a second one. What the fuck? God, look at that, just shit everywhere. Just feces and dead animals. Poor guy. If you look back there, just all the glass. This bitch is talking about blankets. That the goats can't be around blankets because they'll eat it and they'll die. And which, I mean, yeah, goats aren't supposed to eat blankets, obviously, and whatnot. But I've had a friend with a pet goat, and they will just destroy and eat everything. And they are there's glass liquor bottles everywhere in here. There's so much garbage for them to eat on and destroy. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. Literally, like, almost every picture you can find a liquor bottle or some sort of piece of garbage. I don't even understand why there's that many. And that's one thing I was even saying to Andrea and Floss. Like, I don't even understand why there are this many liquor bottles in there. Like, who the fuck's just slamming tequila and 40s and then throwing their fucking bottles in their animal pen? Like, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, there's over half a dozen liquor bottles and shit, like right there. That is true. All my love, yeah. I think Halina told Shar to fuck off. If Halina had told her anything else, like she would surrender the animal, Shar would be crowing about the great feat she pulled off. I'll agree with you there. But I mean, Laura, it's clear. It's clear from Laurel's comments and extorting money. I mean, there was never, like, she's not for these animals. She doesn't give a shit about these animals. She doesn't give a shit what her daughter's doing. She was defending her daughter back in 2010 when she was abusing the horses. She doesn't give a shit. She's over here bashing members of the community that are concerned about these animals. And then they decide that they're going to go on that ridiculous live stream claiming that they're victims. Remind you, blankets. They're not supposed to have blankets in there, but there's just bags. Just bags mixed in with the hay. If the goats are going to eat anything, like that would probably... And Davian made a good point, too. Like, they're eating the blankets and shit. I mean, you're starving them. I imagine all of the animals are eating whatever the fuck they can put in their mouth because you are starving them. That's not supposed to be. Like, look at this. You got ducks, pigs, sheeps. Like, that's not supposed to be. All of these animals aren't supposed to be just crammed into one filthy area. Kayla, I guess it's been going on for around 2 years. But the problem is that right now they're trying to rewrite legislation to get them out. There's nothing in the law saying... Basically, what they're saying right now, even like higher up officials are saying, is that there's nothing in the law saying that Halina can't do this to her animals. Because she's meeting those like bare requirements of taking care of them. She's like just skimming through at the literal bare legal requirements of being able to keep them in her custody. Terry, I haven't seen anything on an update of any animals being dead or any more animals being dead. But I don't know. We looked it up. It's 16 degrees right now in Weld County, Colorado. So, I mean, right now, them baby pigs and everybody, they're on, Broken Shovels, I think, is the first one that talked about this. It was on February 2nd, I think, when they went public. So, you're talking about over 2 weeks at the least, and then this last week. And yes, I did see somebody say earlier, I forgot to even stop and talk about that. It has been said that Halina told the sheriff that she was just trying to let the animals freeze off and die because she didn't want that, or she didn't want them. I don't know how, I'm not fully sure how much rumor that is or anything, but supposedly or allegedly she told the sheriff that she wants them to die, so she's just waiting for them to die instead of letting any of these rehabs step in and take them. I just can't even put the fencing up. Like, it's just a fucking mess. And there's the camper again, because I guess Laurel's trying to say that there is no camper on the property, but there's very fucking clearly there's a camper on the property. Oh yeah, it's 100% just wants control. Yeah, no, I 100% agree with the control thing. On the dog thing, I don't know. Like the dog not being a farm animal and laws around the dog, I don't know. Right now, the Weld County Sheriff is saying there's nothing they can legally do. And I don't know. I mean, you got First Gentleman, Marlon Reese, saying that they are having to relook through their legislation and look at the poor wording that's going on, or lack of wording altogether that's allowing this kind of shit to go on. Okay, yeah, so that was a bird that was dead in that bunny video. I'm not sure where the duck video is. Maybe it was back at the beginning. It had to have been back at the beginning. There's that was, if I remember correctly, this picture was the the morning after they had taken blankets out there the night before. And then Halina had went out there and taken the blankets from the baby pigs, and that was them trying to get warmth inside of trash bags. Terry, I had seen somewhere, because yeah, she was trying to go to farm school at the University of Arkansas. Somebody had said on live we did a couple days ago that she got denied that funding. Oh yeah, no, Lauren, you're 100% correct. For every one Halina, there are at least a couple dozen more. FYI, people get away with this stuff every day. That's 100% correct. The dog appears to me to be a Great Pyrenees mix due to its coat and conformation. The dog is thin, but it also has a good-looking coat, unlike the sheep. I think I've seen a few people say that. I think everybody's in agreement. Pretty sure that's a Great Pyrenees. And the baby pig shivering. And they're just terrible people. Let me see, one of these might be the duck video. I wonder, I don't... You know, in all honesty, I'm going to run through the videos real quick because I haven't watched them with sound on. I got sent all of these and we just played them in the background during that live a couple days ago. So I'm going to look through the videos real quick with sound on. Oh yeah, so that's like the watering system, which I guess meets legal requirements, but whatever.
It's okay.
That's the same video. That's the watering system. That's all the videos. Man. Yeah, turkeys, dogs, sheep, chickens, goats, ducks, pigs. So what? Turkeys, dogs, sheep, chickens, goats, pigs, ducks. There's at least 7 different animals in the same pen. One of the pigs is pregnant due to deliver, according to people that took the videos. That's great. That's fucking swell. Super cool. Rabbits, 8 animals. Yeah, there was rabbits in there too, so 8 different animals in the same pen. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna reach out to Marlon Reese, his office tomorrow, since he seems to be the highest up government official publicly talking about this and actually giving updates, because Marlon has actually posted about this a good few times now. So I am going to reach out to him. So that would probably be the next live, unless I see anything come from Broken Shovels or Danky animal sanctuaries, out of one of the 2 sanctuaries. If they say something like she relinquished the animals or anything, obviously I'll do a live on that. I'll see if Floss or Andrea want to come back on and just tell people where the animals are going. At the very least, I'll do a live and tell people where the animals went and get all that information. And before anything like that, though, yeah, I'll try and see if I can get Marlon to come on a live. I think I got a half shot of being able to get him to come on. So I'll see if I can get him on. Aside from that, there's links all in the descriptions. There's links to both animal sanctuary pages. Those are the 2 best places to follow for updates Like, I'm not just going to be posting updates through pages or making just daily update videos or anything like that. So if you want to like actually follow, see what's going on day to day, I suggest you pop over to the animal sanctuary pages and follow both of them. I think there's a couple articles in there too. Links to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Merch shop, donate if you want to support the stream. That's in the description. And I'm going to try and get some new stuff in the merch store tonight, because that's what I was going to do before these two idiots decided to do whatever that was tonight. But just a heads up, anything of Laurel and Halina, like, they're not victims. Laurel is not a victim. Laurel 100% was trying to extort this situation. She was harassing members of the community, making obscene comments, telling them they performed sexual acts on pigs. That's not, like, no. They are not victims in this situation. They never should have been allowed that right to be painted as victims. That phone call should have happened in private, and then it should have been updated if anything was actually solved or came from it. But instead, they decide to do that weird live stream and claim that Halina's being threatened and Laurel's this innocent person and love everybody. That shouldn't have happened. That 100% should not happened. What, CJ, are you saying, like, I actually haven't even put my logo on anything. Are you saying put my logo on a coffee mug? If you want my logo on a coffee mug, if you really want that, I'll do that for you, CJ. It's not really that big of a hassle. Which, and actually, I probably am going to do something like with the different merch products that are out there. If you like have something personal that you want and you just don't know how to design it, if you promise me you'll buy like 2 of them or 3 of them, I won't do anything crazy, then I'll design it and I'll put it on a shirt or a mug or whatever for you. Just, if you're doing a shirt or something, grab 2 shirts and just make sure that I didn't sit down and design the design for absolutely nothing. But yeah, so fuck it. Yeah, CJ, I'll do that for you. I don't know if I'll get that done tonight because I want to try and put something newer together. Yes, Melissa, I do have Deep State Kitty merch. I do have the Deep State Kitty merch, and I also have. What all do I have? Actually, what do I have? Let's go see what do I have. I don't have much. I think I only have like 3 or 4 things at the moment. I need to make some more things and stuffs. Let's see. I don't think I have anything private there. Yeah, we got Deep State Kitty. I actually did Deep State Kitty socks. I forgot that I did Deep State Kitty socks too. Mark Safe from Jewish Space Lasers. Antifa did it. I just did the Deep State Kitty mask and mug. An Antifa did it mug. And that's right, I did the Antifa did it stickers. I forgot about that just because I liked how they looked. So yeah, I don't know. I need to get some more. I need to do some more stuff on there. But yeah, I remember the night that we dreamed it up too. That's what even started the merch store, was you assholes in the comments talking about Deep State Kitty. But it's a thing now. It's a thing, and so I'll figure out some more design stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully, these idiots don't do anything else stupid in the near future. But I'll try and get Marlon on. Hopefully, he'll agree. I don't see why he wouldn't, honestly, with how much he's posted about it and whatnot, and with us already doing a live with the 2 sanctuaries. I think it shouldn't be much of a problem to get him to come on and explain to us what is going on with the laws around this shit and what problems he's seen so far that actually need to be corrected. So I'll get with Marlon. We'll try and get him on, and unfortunately, again, I don't know, man. This is one of those situations where I don't have a happy ending. I don't have any good news for you guys. There isn't any good news to this situation. The law is not on the side that want to see these animals go to a better place. That's just simply how it is. I wish I had something more positive to tell you guys. A bright side is that this does look like it's going to push new legislation so that this doesn't happen again. But as far as these specific animals, I mean, there's a good chance that these animals are going to die. And that's just it. And Halina's going to be able to leave and not get in any trouble for it, because there's not a law in place at this point in time that she's breaking. So it's, I don't know. The bright side is that hopefully I don't know, hopefully there's laws put into place. Lilith overseas shipping, I don't know. All of it's done through Teespring. I believe they overseas ship. You would have to click on the link and check on that. Like that would just be too much of a process for me to do everything there. So I just use Teespring. I put my design on their products and they make it and then they ship it out and everything. So like that's the company that gets the money, gives you the guarantee and everything. They're an established company. But yeah, as far as their shipping and everything, I don't have any kind of say over that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think that's it overall. I don't even know. I've been trying to watch you guys for questions. It's just I don't know if there's a lot of questions that I can even answer on this, because all of the questions that you might have basically boil down to the laws are not there to enforce anything. From 2 lives now on this subject, I can tell you the majority of the questions I've seen can be answered by that statement. There just isn't proper laws and legislation to, there's just not proper laws and legislation. That's just all there is to it. It's a shame, but again, maybe unfortunately these animals won't die in vain. Maybe there will be a change to the laws. So again, though, you see Laurel or Halina. I think Halina's completely went into hiding. I don't think she said shit. Laurel, though, you see her running around. Don't believe that shit. And Shara Baskin, she can go to hell. Bree, yes, Halina owns the animals. Halina owns the animals and is squatting on the property. And then I guess there's also like how the law is set up. The owner of the property also can't claim the animals. So it's apparently, like I said, it's just the wording in the legislation either isn't there or it's very weakly put together. So I think that'll do it, though. I'm going to go design some stuff that hopefully you guys like, and I don't know, hopefully have that ready for a next live. And hopefully we'll hear back from Marlon and we'll see something good there. So I appreciate you guys watching. Again, go follow the Animal Sanctuary pages. They're going to be your best place to get updates, and they're also good people. I liked both of them. I like Andrea, I like Floss. I had a pretty good time with both of them, so they're rad. I would say go follow their pages, and hopefully we hear some good news at some point. I don't know, but y'all have a good night, and yeah, go follow those Animal Sanctuary pages because they do other good stuff too. But aside from that, I'm out. Y'all be good. Have a good night. I'll see you again soon.